Good morning and happy new month. Welcome to your daily insights. Allow me to share with you a real life story from my childhood before I introduce the title of this month's episodes. Growing up, I remember my mom as an entrepreneur who had a sorted line of businesses. Dad has been an electrician all through, but mom has had all these businesses. And usually when we were growing up, we helped out in those businesses. And the story I am going to tell you about is in relation to one of that business. So I remember at that particular time, she had a space in the marketplace for selling fruits. At the same time, she supplied packed lunches to the teachers in my primary school and the constructions that were going on in the nearby estate. And we were also rearing chicken. But the type of chicken we were rearing at first were taking a long time to mature. But she was doing it in large scale, like we would have more than 200 or 300 chicken at a go. And one day she came home and told us there is a conference for farmers. And because she would be in the market, she wanted one of us, either me or my brother, to go in that conference and get the information that she needs. She had already registered for that conference, but it's either me or my brother to go and represent her. And somehow by the end of that conversation, I ended up being chosen to attend the farmers conference in Blue Post Hotel the following day. Blue Post Hotel is in Thika Town if you come from Kenya. So I don't want to tell you how old I was, but just know I had enough years of age to write notes as the speakers went through the motions of selling the benefits of this new breed. That is the time they were introducing the broiler chicken in Thika. It must have started somewhere else, but so we were there, all these farmers, and I remember all these companies coming and talking about how good it's gonna change the poultry industry. And I was busy taking notes. And then finally, after the presentation, it was time to go for lunch, which was a buffet, and sample this praised chicken that they had talked about. And alas, let me tell you the truth, the only buffet I had attended before that was the weddings in our church. And there was only one type of food during the weddings in our church growing up. And I'm calling it a buffet because we would line up during the weddings, and there was only pilau. So when we got to lunchtime in this conference and it's a buffet, oh, my eyes just lit up when I saw all these types of food and they are all lined up. And I didn't know that you don't have to pick everything. So I just received the plate and I moved on the line, piling my plate. The other people in line were just giving me stares, but somehow I didn't notice or decode something was off. And then the funny thing is that when there was no more space on my plate, I remember putting it on the table. And I just went to the person who gave me an empty plate and got an extra empty plate and went up to the place where the other plate had filled up, and then continued until I had every piece of everything that was available in that buffet. Right now, I'm sure you're either laughing or shaking your head. Yeah. Picture this girl with 2 plates with all parts of chicken, grilled, baked, fried, boiled, broiled, name it. Yeah. And then I'm sure you've not finished the laughter. Listen to this as a part. Then I got a polythene bag from my bag and I dumped my heaped up plates in it, put it in the bag, and zipped it. I didn't even eat it. And picked a queen cake. They had those cakes for dessert, but there now I understand it was dessert. I picked a queen cake and skipped out because the meeting is over. Skipped out and just picked up transportation at the gate and headed home. So by the time I got home, so proud of myself because I had these notes, and I'm like, I brought chicken. Like I got this whole chicken here, and I'll never forget the look on my mom's face when she saw what I had brought home. From that time, Blue Post Hotel was a 5-star restaurant. I don't know whether it has maintained that star, rating. The look on my mom's face and the laughter from my brother was enough to tell me that whatever I had done was out of order. And as my mom looked at me, the irony, my mom kept repeating words, "Woy, you brought a whole chicken home, and we are the ones who sell chicken." My mom could not get over it. Like, you came home with chicken here from town. We lived in Makongeni. If you know Thika, we lived in Makongeni, so it's a place I had to use public transportation. You can imagine me carrying chicken on that bag. Anyway, this month we are going to be talking about the protocol of His presence. And I started by that story, a story about how, because I didn't know how to behave in this kind of a setting, I just did something that was quite embarrassing. But at the same time, I believe I get a pass because of my age. And as we talk about protocol, what is protocol? Protocol is a system of rules that explain the correct conduct and procedures to be followed in formal situations. And so, I'm sure as we worship God, it is not one time or 2 times you have referred to God as King. He is King of Kings. And many a times we forget that Him who makes kings and rulers, He is King, He is supreme. And there are systems of rules that explain the correct conduct and procedures to be followed in His presence. And so this new month of November, we are going to dive into this, and we are going to understand what are the protocols of His presence. I welcome you to walk with me in this series. This is Pastor Lucy Painter with your daily insight, and this is Protocol of His Presence, Day 1. Shalom.